Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode, we've got Hasbro toy designers behind-the-scenes info on development of Transformers Studio Series figures. A new third-party Legend-scaled Stunticon set is revealed, and we speculate on upcoming Transformers Legacy releases that have probably all been revealed on yesterday's Hasbro Fan First Tuesday. Sorry, we always record on Sundays. Today is Wednesday, April 13th, 2022, and this is episode 481 of Transmissions. Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that now has an edit button because it is now owned partially by Elon Musk. Sure, it's only 9%, but he's really making his presence known. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hello. Let's talk Transformers.
All right. Well, we have to start the show on a bit of a sad note because another of the classic G1 voice actors has passed away. So Stephen Keener, who was the voice of Fortress Maximus and Scorponok in the last 3 episodes of the G1 Transformers cartoon. He was also several other latter day G1 characters. He's passed away. So condolences to his family and friends, and we wish them well. So, as always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. We thank you all for your continued helping us out and helping us keep the podcast going. And it's because of you we're able to, keep the train running, keep everything going and firing on all cylinders. So we really appreciate it. If you'd like to become a Donatron, you can just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. That's where you can sign up and help us out. This week, we have a brand new episode of Empire of Rust. This is episode 73, Attack of the Mini-Clones, and this is our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast. This is available to everyone at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. It just came out into the feed on Monday, April 11th, so you should already have access to it. It should be in the main feed. Also, it's in the Empire of Rust feed if you're just listening there, or if you haven't had a chance to listen yet. So go to transmissionspodcast.com/rust. And also listen for an announcement because we have the Transmissions Empire of Rust crossover part 2, and that is coming starting next week. It's a 6-part adventure featuring myself and Yoshi as brand new characters in the Empire of Rust universe. So, I'm a returning character, but several other are brand new characters. And this was exclusive to Donatrons, but now it is being made available on the Empire of Rust free feed starting next week, April 18th. So look forward to that. All right, let's jump into some toy news.
All right, and starting off the show this week, I'm going to talk about a new company that is getting into the Legends class game, and they are coming to the table hot with a combiner to start off with, and they are starting off with the Stunticons. They are coming to the market with G1 Stunticons, which will combine into Menasor. We don't have a name for what they're calling it. This company is called Rising Force, and we don't know what they're going to call their Stunticons or Menasor, but he is going to stand about 23 centimeters tall to the top of his antenna, which for you Americans is just over 9 inches tall. There is only one figure is up for pre-order right now, and that is their drag strip figure, which they are calling Creep. I'm currently showing him available for pre-order on BBTS for $75. And yeah, that's a spicy meatball for a Legends class figure, for one Legends class figure. But I gotta say, looking at the finished product here in prototype, the completed Menasor here, it looks really good. They do show in some of these pictures that the 4 limb figures are Scramble City compatible, so you can swap them around, which is really cool. That doesn't get often done in modern figures these days, so that's really awesome. Modern mainline toys do it fairly regularly, but third-party stuff really doesn't do it that often. So it's really cool to see here done with the Legends class stuff. And I got to say, the prototype of their Menasor looks really good. So, I'm going to keep an eye on this. But $75 for one limb is pretty expensive. But I can only imagine what their Motormaster is going to be. I wanted to open up the discussion today with talking about the Menasor. Jeremy, you like a little Menasor in your life?
I mean, if it weren't $75 per limb, yeah, I think this looks really cool. I always have a place in my heart for the combiners that are tiny. So the combined form is about the size of like a, Voyager figure. I just think that's really cool and really kind of like it's roughly the size of like the original Devastator from G1 because it's always bigger in our memories than what it actually was. But I think this looks really cool. The engineering looks really amazing, like with the joints and stuff, even on the single figures where you would expect to see like ball joints in their elbows. It's not, looks like a pin joint. You're seeing visible things because they're so small, but this is really some like really impressive engineering work from my opinion. And then the combined form, he's got, the posable elbows and knees and ankles and everything. And I think this is going to be a really impressive set when it's all done. But that price is just, I understand that you're getting a lot for the figure, but it's just, you're used to paying what, like $30, $40 for a Legend scale figure. And that's a real big jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that really stands out about this for me is that a lot of the modern masterpiece scaled Menasors that have been getting done, they put the leg figures, they attach them to the back of the legs, which I believe is animation accurate to what they've did in the cartoon, but it just, for the way it looks, I just don't get it. I don't understand why you'd want to hide those cars. They look so cool being on the front. And if you have the toy, then, you can see the cars, on the front. I don't understand why it would do that. Plus it made it seem like you really didn't need the cars at all to make Menasor, which I get, but, I don't know. I really like the way that this guy is using the leg, like the limb bots and showing them off with regards to the legs. I think that's really important for a combiner to actually, to show the components it's made of.
Although it doesn't really look like you do need the leg bots.
I don't think
looks
so.
Like they do just stick on, but yeah.
Yeah. It just, it fakes it. And that's kind of all I need. It needs to be make it look like it's using them at least for the legs.
Like you said, that's what G1 did.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
He's got legs. He knows how to use them.
Well, Charles, I'm gonna interrupt your singing here for a moment because I need you to tell me about your experience with Menasor and how you feel about a little one, a little tiny Stunticon combiner here.
Yeah, Menasor's been a combiner team I've kind of tended to avoid in most releases. Like I haven't really picked up a Menasor for my own. This one does look really nice. I'm always kind of put off by what they do with Motormaster. Like, Motormaster always seemed weird to me. Like, how is a character who's supposed to be like as big as Optimus Prime, but his feet are the cab and the rest of his body is the trailer, but he's, with mass shifting and size and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I've never been like a stickler for scale, but Motormaster has always just thrown me off. And this does look good. The combined form looks good. Menasor looks really nice. The individual Stunticons are really, really nice. Menasor looks really well proportioned. I'm curious to see how they're pulling off the Menasor figure with Motormaster and how what if there's a trailer involved, if there's not a trailer, like if the trailer is separate or something. I'm curious about that, but I'm not $75 per figure curious. I mean, this makes me think. This makes me think with, each limb being $75, maybe Motormaster will be $100 or $150. So that's, you're spending almost $400 to $450 for this combiner, which is a legend scaled combiner. That's like, you can get a full size, masterpiece combiner for that amount of money, a third party one. Mm-hmm. It just seems excessive. I mean, that's really killing my interest in this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you the if you look at the pre-order page for the drag strip figure, one of the pictures does have the Motormaster figure in the background, and you see a little bit more of it there. Now, obviously, you can see a little bit of him, in the group shot there, but you see a little bit more in the single picture. His feet are the cab, and it does appear that his entire upper body will make up a trailer. So you're going to get a very kind of G1 looking, transformation on this guy. And that's fine with me. The legs and the feet, they kind of look dorky, but that's what Motormaster was. He was kind of a weird, figure to transform, and I get it. I get the scale part, yeah, the truck was the same size as Optimus Prime, but, then the feet are just the front of the truck. It doesn't work in your brain. It doesn't doesn't fit. Now, as far as the price goes, I've taken pictures and put them up on Twitter before. Have I talked about my Twitter? Do you know about Twitter, Charles? So the Fans Project Menasor, that came out a very long time ago, it was $60 a piece for the individual limbs, and the Motormaster figure, I believe, was $130. Might have been $140. I can't remember. The idea that this Legend Scale one is going to be more expensive than the Fans Project one is boggling my brains. Now, granted, the Fans Project one is not masterpiece scale. It's more deluxe, kind of chug scale, if you want to use that, acronym. But just kind of blows my mind. And I love that Fans Project one. It's got some really great figures in it. But you're right. This price point on these guys is insane. It's gotten to the point where, Legends class stuff is kind of outpricing the market at this point. And this was supposed to be the stuff people were selling their Masterpiece figures to get into Legends class because they couldn't afford Masterpiece. Now there's going to have to be a micro Legends class, which I think there is.
The Dr. Wu stuff. The
Dr. Wu stuff, because people can't afford Legends class anymore. So, it's getting kind of ridiculous. But I agree with everyone here that the quality really does look great.
I wonder what the ongoing supply chain stuff is playing into these prices at all.
I don't know.
It's got to have something to do with it.
The part that I find interesting is in the question in my head, and there's people out there that know much more about the back end of this than I do, is Rising Force is the first time we've heard this name in regards to, putting out a product. But we know there's somebody else behind this. What company is really behind Rising Force, right? Who's really putting this out? Because from all of my understanding with regards to third party, there might be 6 companies, right? But they all put out, everything under various names. And so who's really behind Rising Force is the question in my head. And, we might find out, I might not, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who know, but that's something that kind of I look at the aesthetic and I try to guess, but I'm sure I'd be wrong. But anyway, that's all I had to talk about this week. Jeremy, what did you find?
It's not a new figure, but we have some Instagram updates from a couple of the Hasbro toy designers. Evan Brooks, who is he's been working on some of the Studio Series 86 figures. And then Sam Smith, who is the Transformers design manager. And he's also been working on Studio Series toys. Evan was doing the 86, and what they've shown are on a series of progression of how some of these figures came together. And it's just really cool. We have like with Grimlock, you have like from the initial sketch to how how it looks in robot mode and in Dino mode, just sketched on paper, to kind of a rough 3D model, and then it progresses on into the final model, including the wheelie, which I still don't understand how that came to be made, but it's just, these are really cool. Sam Smith's are more the live action movie stuff. Got a lot of stuff from the Bumblebee movie, but also some of the others. And I think it's really cool seeing how these come together from just drawings on paper. I guess some of the live action ones are more just, they're starting with 3D models, but then you have to work out the transformation. And I just think these are really neat. Like Cup, if you look at that, there's sketched out drawings from Ajima Takio over at Takara Tomy. So you have the sketch where you're seeing he's writing in Japanese and English, each step of transformation, just kind of roughly drawing out, okay, it looks like the truck. You turn back the head, you rotate the body and stuff. Essentially just like a very rough version of what we actually get in the instruction packets. But I just think it's cool. You get the Japanese, and then he's also got the English underneath. And it's just seeing how they work out the transformation so roughly. And then when you actually have the model, figuring out how things actually are going to work in actuality, in like physical plastic. So I don't know if you guys had seen this and are interested in this side of toys, but I thought this was pretty cool. Daryl, do you have anything here that stands out to you?
I mean, I like looking at all this design stuff. It's really kind of neat. The instructions that you did point out here, for Cup, I do think they might actually be better than the instructions that come with the official toys. So yeah, maybe maybe get this designer to make the official instructions, and just nothing crazy, just sketch them out like this. They're quite good.
Have the text.
Like, yeah,
have the text.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing with me.
Yep. Yeah, I like a lot of the stuff. Yeah, it really does look good.
Cool. Charles, you're an engineer, so obviously you're well familiar
allegedly
with this whole process. So does this look like this is actually what they did?
I mean, yeah, the computer models look interesting. It's always interesting to see the behind the scenes, the design process and everything. It is really cool. I'm still confused as to how they messed up Cup's face. His face looks so like the toy's face just looks so off from the animation model. And like it seems like in the drawings, like in the drawings and modeling, it seems fine, but then when it got to the final toy, his face got really thin and it just looks weird. So
you can see that in one of the pictures where it goes from like just having a square head to a sketched out, and then kind of the more intricate drawing, that's kind of where it gets thinner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
maybe it's just physics required it.
Yeah, maybe it's just there wasn't enough, like the space for the head required it to be thinner, and then it could accommodate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always cool to see this kind of stuff, and I'm glad the designers shared this information so people could take a look.
Awesome. Well, that's everything I got this week. So Charles, what do you have?
Okay. First, so depending on whether or not these things were shown off at Fan First Tuesday yesterday, we're recording this before that happened, so apologies if everyone already knows this, but we have had leaks of the Legacy Motormaster packaging, along with some shattered glass blaster, and the packaging for Legacy Blitzwing, which we've already seen full leaks of the Legacy Blitzwing figure. But we have not seen the Legacy Motormaster yet, but we just have these pictures of the packaging. So you can see it's a semi-truck, of course, it's a Motormaster, but we don't really have a nice clear picture of the robot motor, the actual real figure. But it's just, interesting to see the packaging. And then, of course, a shattered glass blaster. I don't think we were expecting that they were going to continue the shattered glass line, but looks like we're getting a shattered glass blaster, and it's coming with rewind instead of eject. So that's interesting. I would have expected a twin cast before we got a shattered glass blaster, but I'm surprised that they're continuing the shattered glass toy line. And then, of course, Blitzwing, we've already seen the real figure Blitzwing, but here you get a nice view of the artwork for the packaging. So, Daryl, does this have you excited for the upcoming Legacy figures?
Well, when we were talking about the Blitzwing, I'm in on the Blitzwing for sure. It looks great. The packaging for this Legacy line is just great. I'm really enjoying this like really crazy kind of almost, I don't know, would you call it like almost a G2 style with all the bright colors and everything? I don't know what you call it really, but I'm really digging it.
The colors don't clash enough for it to be G2.
Right, I guess. Yeah.
It's kind of psychedelic.
Very, yeah. So I really like that. The shattered glass blaster, I'm not into. I could care less about shattered glass stuff, but I assume that if the comic, the Shattered Glass comic, were given a season 2, that we'd probably see Blaster in it. But neither here nor there. It's not a big deal. The Motormaster here is the big draw, and I'm in for this as well. The part that kind of intrigues me on this, other than the crazy packaging, which I'm really in love with, are on the front of the packaging. You can see the combiner ports that are being used for the Menasor here on the front of his trailer, and that's kind of something I'm just trying to pay attention to, because of in the past Hasbro mainline stuff has had an issue with combiner ports, and these kind of look very similar to Combiner Wars kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what they've done with regards to keeping everything kind of pegged in and being able to get everything to slide out. Excuse me. I don't recall off the top of my head what the drag strip figures combiner port looks like. I know that somebody's posted pictures of it. I just don't remember what it is. But I'm in. I'm really excited for all this.
All right, Jeremy, are you intrigued by the Shattered Glass Blaster?
I'm not really. I mean, I too wish that they would do a twin cast, and I guarantee we're going to get a Generation Selects twin cast. I really do want to have a version of this mold some way. I haven't seen Blaster in stores, but it looks really good. I think the figure has gotten pretty high reviews. So there's probably a good number of people that want the Shattered Glass version. I'm glad that they're continuing it, because you can still have a lot of fun with that line. But I really would like either the regular one or twin cast. The Blitzwing we've talked about. I think the box looks really cool. The Menasor looks really good. I mean, I'm not sure if I would be in on getting a combiner right now in general, but I think it looks really good. And I'm really also curious about the ports, and are they going to stick with the Combiner Wars connections, or are they coming up with something new? I really do hope that they would continue with Combiner Wars, just to have that sense of continuity where you don't have the full combiner yet, but you can mix and match and at least come up with something. But I mean, I'm sure everyone that's listening to this probably already knows what was announced, and we could be completely wrong about everything with this, but I think this looks really, really fun, and I'm also loving the packaging for Legacy. I think they're doing a great job. Yeah,
it's interesting also because the Motormaster is not he's a Commander class figure. So that means it's like at the $80 price point, and that's, presumably much bigger than I think all the limbs, the combiner limbs for the Stunticons are all deluxe figures, right? Or are they Voyagers?
They are. They're deluxes.
They're deluxes. So that's a big change. I mean, from the the Combiner Wars figures, the torso figure was always a Voyager, and then the limbs were deluxes, and now we're going up to Commander class for the torso here. But maybe that indicates that the trailer is a separate. No. I guess if we see the pictures, the Combiner ports are on the trailer, so I guess that's not it. So I'm curious to see how big this Motormaster is.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of looking here to see what what an arm mode for drag strip looks like, and it's because drag strip's going to detach into two pieces. He's actually going to peg onto existing armature that's going to be from Motormaster's trailer. So it's going to be a very similar situation to what's been done in a lot of the Masterpiece scaled third-party stuff, where essentially you're going to be able to build Menasor out of Motormaster, and then the 4 deluxe figures are just going to kind of peg on to...
He's just going to be wearing the other...
Exactly, yeah. And because he's just got them here. So I'm just kind of looking back at this Motormaster box art, and I wonder what we're looking at here as far as these combiner ports. Then I wonder if if you actually do have to essentially build the Menasor still with the pieces in the trailer. It's kind of it's not a transformable, but more of a build-a-bot kind of a thing, but everything's kind of contained in the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if maybe the cab is removable from the trailer, so you also have to have ports to connect the cab piece to the trailer.
Yeah.
Maybe the cab is Menasor's or Motormaster's robot mode, and he like plugs into and then the trailer becomes Menasor armor that you put around Motormaster, and then attach the limbs on each limb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I assume that we're going to find out on a lot of this on Tuesday. So this entire discussion we're having right now is moot, but but it'll be interesting. I kind of hope that they show off, maybe even a prototype Menasor. That would be kind of cool. Be huge.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I do have one additional topic. So we've got some leaks of a new core class Megatron figure, and this is Daryl, you were talking about G2. This is definitely all the G2 colors you could want. So this is a bright green and camouflage purple G2 Megatron as a core class figure. So it's a redeco of the core class Megatron from Kingdom, and whoa, that green is hurting my eyes. That's a very bright Megatron, G2 Megatron. So this, this is similar to the Generation Selects G2 Megatron. That was a redeco of the Earthrise Voyager Megatron, but here it's tiny. So, I mean, if you're a fan of G2, this might be something interesting. And of course, since it's a core class figure, this is going to be quite affordable at, the $10 price point. So, and it's, just the same Megatron core class figure. So not really anything different except the color. I do like how they have it in the pictures. They compare it with the leader class laser rod Optimus Prime from Legacy. So it looks funny. Like it's like Optimus Prime is, playing with his nephew, baby Megatron. Looks funny. Jeremy, any interest in this little, baby G2 Megatron?
I mean, a little bit, but it is a very, very loud, bright green. I don't know. I appreciate that they're using the G2 Decepticon logo on it as well. I think that's a nice touch. I don't know though. If I were to get it, it would probably be just to show off and then let the kid just have his way with it. I'm sure he would love having a bright neon green Megatron. But I have the Generation Selects version of the bigger one from a year or so ago, and that's fulfilling my needs to have a G2 Megatron right now. But I don't know, as long as this one isn't too expensive, I think it's just a fun thing to have. Don't stress too much over, the problems that you would get with a figure this size.
Yeah, it's funny. It seems like the G2 Megatron already was kind of ridiculous that it was supposed to be camouflage, but it was super bright green and purple, and now these modern versions seem to be getting brighter and brighter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Daryl, any interest in damaging your eyes by looking at this G2 Megatron?
I mean, it's likely going to be about a $15 figure here, but I can't help but buy one of these if I see a G2 Megatron. Just kind of, if I have the ability to pick one up, it's just a ridiculous looking color palette, and I got it. I just have to. So I'll be buying it if I find it. It's a cool color palette. The tank is almost non-existent. It's just a kind of a glob, that they kind of transform it into. But they manage a Megatron out of it, which it works. And yeah, but the topic of conversation is really the color palette of this, and yeah, it's just fun.
All right, well, that's all our toy topics, so let's move on to trips to the store. This is where we show off all the cool Transformer stuff we got this week. We do this as a video, so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition on our YouTube channel. But you can listen right here as we put the audio in the podcast, so you can keep listening as we describe everything we got in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
Well, let's show off the stuff we got this week. So I'm going to start off. I just have a few comics this week. I don't have any new toys. But as I mentioned, we are reviewing Transformers War's End #2. I picked that up a few weeks ago. Also, Transformers 41, which is running concurrently with War's End. So you can see there is a little overlap between War's End and Transformers 41, which is interesting. It shows the conversation from both perspectives, which is cool. And so we'll get to 41 in a little while and review the other side. And also Beast Wars #14. We reviewed that last week. And the Beast Wars has been a fun series, and continuing to enjoy that. But yeah, this one took a little went a little in a different direction compared to the show, where we've introduced some new characters. So that was cool.
We talked about it last week.
We did talk about it last week. So check out the last episode of Transmissions Alt Mode for more. All right, that's all I got. So Jeremy, I'm gonna hand it off to you.
All right, I have a couple old figures for my collection. These are the Transformers RID 2001 Spy Changers. And sorry, I got reflection there is pretty bad. This is Ironhide, but he turns into a truck.
Is yours clear?
Yeah, these are clear. And actually, this has been opened. So let me, kind of opened. I don't think I ever actually took him out. But this is Ironhide. He's a truck with not your typical Ironhide. And then I have also in here REV. Autobot Race Exertion Vehicle.
The rare invisible variant.
He's out. And I think these were originally G2. I don't know what the line was, but they were G2 figures.
Mm-hmm.
But also clear. I think that focused in real good.
Yeah.
No, that's nice.
So
you still have his gun?
No. I don't know if he came with a gun. Oh, I guess he does in the picture.
Thought they all came with guns.
Well, it's probably somewhere in a bin, but if you can see from the packaging here, I got these on sale from KB Toys.
$3.99.
Yeah, but look at the original price, $4.99. Oh, I thought it said $4.09, but yeah, so $1 off. But man, if you could ever get any kind of figure for $5, but these are fun, simple transformations because of what they were. But I like them, and these are clear and still hold up pretty well. So.
I know the clear variants of those are a lot more desirable than the regular ones. So those are good. Those are nice. You're going to need the gun, though.
Yeah. I'll have to see if I can track it down. I'm sure it's in a Ziploc bag or something in vehicle mode.
Nice.
Focus. That is not about logo, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. That's all I got this week.
All right, Daryl, we'll come to you. What do you have?
All right. So the first one I got this week is a figure that I picked up at the local comic shop because I saw it come in, and I've always I don't remember having this one as a kid. I had a very similar one, but I got myself a G2 Gold Bug. This is Bumblebee, the G2 Bumblebee, who is super shiny. Very, very reflective gold paint. Might as well just call him Gold Bug because he's very, very gold. So G1 Bumblebee painted up real shiny gold for G2. Nothing real overly special about him. But as far as calling him Gold Bug, fits really well into the other figure that I got this week, Kingdom Blaster. So I haven't opened them yet. I had to order them online because nobody has gotten anything new around here for quite some time. And so I found on Amazon there was a store that had one of these, and I had some Amazon gift cards that I had saved from Christmas. Just on the off chance that something would come up on Amazon, which it generally does, and still ended up paying like $20 for this thing after my gift cards. So anyway, I have them in. I'm happy to have them now. So I'll pop them open at some point and take a peek at Blaster. And I did look, and I do not have the new or the face, like the different face that everyone's talking about right now. So if you do have a Blaster, check to see if you have the happy face variant, because there's just a regular stoic face and then there's a happy face. Yeah, anyway, that's all I got. I'm pretty happy with my haul this week. Happy to have a gold Bumblebee.
Does that suffer from gold
Very
plastic
shiny.
syndrome at all?
I think it's just paint. Well, it's not paint, but it's
Like vacuum metal, or
it's really good condition. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. But it's pretty cool. I do have a hubcap, a G2 hubcap, and a G2 beachcomber as well. So I just need the sea spray, and I'll have all 4 G2 mini bots. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, that will do it for this week's Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
We're back from our trips to the store, and that will do it for this episode of Transmissions. As always, we end the show by giving a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons. So thank you again for all you folks who continue to support us at our highest level on Patreon. So thank you to John Forex, Levengood, Dinobot Maximize, and Demon Tech 82. You guys are awesome. All right, everyone. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for listening. Check out Alt Mode in a couple of days, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.